My name is Ashanti Daniel. As Laurie said, a registered nurse who was a picture of health until I was blindsided by myalgic encephalomyelitis, better known as ME, nearly 4 years ago. Unlike some ME warriors who experienced a gradual decline in their health, mine was sudden, like being hit by a train I never saw coming. I worked my last night shift at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center on August 10, 2016, and sadly was never able to return to my beloved career. Despite being young and healthy at the time, I got sick with the virus, and that was the beginning of the end of life as I knew it before ME. Nevertheless, I consider myself to be one of the lucky ones. What I mean by that is I was lucky enough to get diagnosed only 9 months after the initial onset of my illness, whereas many other ME warriors, especially people of color, are undiagnosed for years. I was lucky enough to be believed by my primary care doctor. I was lucky enough to be a nurse, which, in my experience, made me more credible to the countless specialists I saw in search of an explanation for my mysterious and unrelenting symptoms. I was lucky enough to only encounter one doctor out of those many specialists who felt the cause of my symptoms was probably, quote, all in my head. My experience should be closer to the norm for ME warriors. Unfortunately, it is rare to come across ME warriors who were diagnosed in less than a year after becoming ill and, most importantly, were believed by clinicians, as that alone is half the uphill battle. Sadly, for people of color, more specifically African American women, the chances of being believed are significantly lower than that of our Caucasian counterparts, regardless of the health concern. Whether it is surrounding Black maternal health or most recently COVID-19, the disparities are staggering. I wish I had time to cite more statistics, but I only have a short time to speak. So real quick, Black women are times more likely than white women to die from pregnancy or childbirth related causes. This trend persists even after adjusting for income and education. Decades of racism and discrimination mean that too often, doctors and nurses don't hear Black women's health issues the same way they hear them from other women. The statistics are not final for COVID-19 because obviously the pandemic is still in progress, but I have seen article after article of Black people with COVID-19 being sent home from the hospital and they end up dying as a result. I have even read stories of Black female nurses who were not believed regarding their COVID-19 symptoms and ultimately died at home as a result. One nurse in particular actually had gone to the hospital repeatedly, a hospital where she was a nurse as an employee working through the pandemic, and they still treated her poorly, did not take her serious, and she was never admitted to the hospital and ended up dying at home. For those Black women who survived COVID-19, they have a chance of becoming ill with ME and again, not being taken seriously. This is beyond unacceptable, but unfortunately not surprising. This nightmare illness flipped my world upside down. Nursing, my life's purpose, and who I am at my core is now just a memory. The mother I was pre-illness is no more. The fitness enthusiast I was pre-illness that worked out 4 to 5 days a week doing high-intensity interval training was killed by ME. Not only am I unable to work out, I cannot even walk more than a short distance without becoming extremely short of breath, dizzy, and need to sit down to avoid passing out. I am unable to even shower without my heart racing at 150 to 160 beats per minute while sitting down on my shower chair. A year and a half ago, a portacath had to be placed in my chest. It's now hidden under my shirt. I could go on and on about everything this illness has taken away from me and done to me, but in the interest of time, I won't. I can't. I'm here from my sick bed, literally, to advocate for ME warriors, especially the unlucky ones. The ME warriors who don't get diagnosed for too many years. The ME warriors who are not believed by clinicians. The ME warriors who are not healthcare professionals with, quote, inside knowledge on how to navigate the healthcare industry as a patient. The unlucky ones represent the majority of ME warriors, and we desperately need your help. Many of us are too sick to advocate for ourselves, so we desperately need able-bodied allies to join in this fight for more research funding, more awareness, more education for healthcare professionals, etc. For those of you watching this thinking ME cannot happen to you, it can and it does, no matter how many degrees you have or how healthy you think you are. We want a chance to get back to our careers or at least some semblance of our old lives. We are the millions missing. Will you help us now?